Hi, seniors. My name is Miss Sweetman, and for some of you who may not know me, I am a school counselor here at Harrisonburg High School. I am also one of the senior class sponsors, so I'll be working with you guys a lot this year in regards to keeping you informed as we approach graduation. But first and foremost, we want to show you a little bit in regards to a tool you should be using during your college application process. There's also a lot of other resources involved with this program that you can utilize even if college is not the pathway you're taking after graduation. So this program is called Naviance, and hopefully a lot of you have heard it already, and maybe even have gone into the program and looked around and used it for different things. What I'm going to do in this video is show you around and also show you how to use it in regards to your college application process. So what you're going to do first is go to the Harrisonburg High School website, and you're going to want to make sure that you log in using Clever. Now, this isn't just for Naviance. This is for everything, PowerSchool and other different platforms that you use while you're here at school. Makes it really easy for you to log into everything and have access to everything. So once you click on Clever and you log in, you will be sent to the home page of Naviance. Now, this is a demo, so some of the things may not be up to date and it might not be accurate in regards to what you see when you log in. But what I'm going to show you is basically the layout and also where the tools are that you're going to want to use. So basically when you log in and you see your front page here, you will see that this box here to the left is going to be where there's relevant announcements throughout the year for you. It might be in regards to certain events that are happening, information we learn about regarding colleges, even job opportunities, and different things that we need you to make sure you're doing throughout the school year. So this is something to reference just for relevant news and announcements throughout the year. This box over here you might reference a lot in regards to the application process. And so for you all that might be just starting this looking and figuring out what schools you want to apply to process, you can always start with this link here, the colleges I'm thinking about. So this can be a good tool for you in regards to looking up schools, getting information about schools, and just keeping a list for reference as you go through and make those final decisions of the schools you want to apply to. Once you know what schools you want to apply to, then you want to use this link, Colleges I'm Applying to. This is going to be the avenue that you communicate with your school counselor in regards to us knowing where we need to send your documents, such as the transcripts, letters of recommendation, and other supporting information that's necessary for your applications. I'll go into detail on that so that you know how to use that tool. The other thing you may want to look into as well is that if you're in a place where you're just not sure what you want to do for a job, what you want to study when you go to school, or just overall what your next steps could be after high school, you could go into career and clusters, and this is where you can start investigating different careers. There's different tools you can use regarding assessments that can figure out what interests you have, what strengths you have, and match that to different career pathways that would match those strengths and those outcomes that come from the assessments you complete. So this is also a useful tool just to get a better idea of what careers are out there, what you might be interested in, and it also explains to you what kind of credentials you need, if that means school, trade school, or just overall training. We will be updating the other stuff on this homepage as the year goes on, and so you may find that you have some tasks that we would like you to finish in regards to doing, for example, at the end of the year, a senior survey. But we also may be adding things here like doing your resume, looking at scholarships, or other things that are related just to being a student at HHS. We are also going to be hosting and offering different college rep visits, and obviously that's going to be virtual and not at the school like we normally would. But in this box over here, you'll start seeing a list of different rep visits from different colleges and when they'll be available. We're going to encourage you to click on these events and sign up for when they visit, just so that we know that you are interested and we can make sure that you receive those links so that you can attend those college rep visits. So that will be really helpful too to keep up on, as those will always be just coming up day to day and making those events happen. So let's look at the process in regards to applying to school, because I know a lot of you are working on this already and want to know what your steps are in regards to getting your transcripts and things like that. So if you are going to make your list and you know what schools you're applying to, we're going to go to the list called Schools I'm Applying to. This is what this looks like. If you are using Common App, which is a platform used to apply to several schools at once, you are going to want to make sure that you match your accounts. It's very simple. When you click on Match Accounts, it's going to ask you for your login information that you used with Common App. So that should be a personal email address and then the password that you use to access Common App. Once that's matched, a lot of that information is just going to come right on over here to Naviance. If you are adding a school on your own, though, to this list, you will just use this plus sign here, and you're going to look for the school that you're applying to. We use an example for Christopher Newport University. You'll see that other options come up. First of all, it's going to ask for your application type. This is going to be the deadline that you are using to submit your application. You want to make sure this is as accurate and up to date so that your counselor can honor that deadline and make sure all of your supplemental information and documents are submitted for that deadline. If this changes at any point, then you need to make sure you come back into this list and edit it. And I'll show you how to do that. But for the sake of this example right now, we'll just say that you're applying to Christopher Newport for the regular decision of February 1st. Then there is the application type. How are you submitting your application? With Christopher Newport, they use Common App. And so if that's the case, you can choose Common App. Or if you're applying directly to them and using their online application from their website, you would select direct to the institution. This is really important to be clear with on this page for your counselor, because if you are applying through Common App, there are other documents that we have to include with your transcript and other recommendations that we submit. So make sure that this is accurate as well. Once you have this information in for that school, you can click Add and Request Transcript. We will then get notified as your school counselor that you have requested your transcript, and we will go in and we will submit that transcript for you. Once you have clicked the Request Transcript, you will see that it has been added to your list of colleges you're applying to. You will see all the information that you provided, the deadline that you are using to submit your application. It will show that you have requested your transcript, and it will show that you are applying by direct to institution. If it was Common App, we wouldn't have this strike through. So you want to make sure that you're looking at these icons and making sure it's accurate. If you are deciding that you need to change something regarding the school that you've added to this list, you would simply just click Edit and make those changes that are necessary. Once all of this list is compiled and you have requested all of your transcripts, you will see that your office materials will change once your counselor is able to submit the materials you've requested. So you can always come back and take a look. You can always edit this list, and you can always add new schools. Even though your counselor will be notified from Naviance, I highly recommend that you stay in great communication with your counselor during this process so that everyone knows where you stand, where you're applying, and if you've made any changes. So this is what you need to do to request your transcripts. Another part of your application process is going to be letters of recommendation. And you'll see that that is just on the same page as the list of schools you're applying to. Just scroll down a little bit. You will want to click on this link over here saying Letters of Recommendation section. When you get to this page, this is where you will be selecting the teachers that are writing letters of recommendation for you. You will simply click on Add Request, find the teacher that will write a recommendation for you, and then you want to be very specific of what schools you want their recommendation to go to. We highly recommend that you do not, I repeat, do not select all current and future colleges I add to my colleges I'm applying to list. If you select this, that teacher's recommendation will automatically be sent to any schools that are on your list. And even though that may be the case, and that in fact is what you want, it still may cause some headaches down the road. So you want to make sure that you go through and you individually select the schools that you want that recommendation to go to. Be conscious of the requirements that are being asked of your schools. They have sometimes only one required letter of recommendation. Sometimes they don't need any, but we still recommend you send something. But then if someone sends a recommendation on your behalf that you didn't want to, there's no turning back. So you want to make sure that you are very conscious of your selections and you're meeting the requirements of each school when it comes to your letter of recommendation. It would be really helpful and very polite if you wrote a letter of appreciation in this box here that gets sent to the teacher that's writing that letter of recommendation for you. It also would be helpful to provide them a date of when it would be best that they have this letter of recommendation done by. You would simply submit the request after that, and the teacher will be notified in their email. But please, out of just etiquette in this process, talk to these teachers in person or at least virtually and ask them if they would be willing to write a recommendation for you. That is usually the best practice. And that way you know that they are able to and can confirm with you that they can do so. And then you can follow up with this step with officially sending them the request through Naviance. Once you have created those requests for letters of recommendation, you can always come back to this page and see the status of those. You can see that the same information is provided to the teacher you're asking for a recommendation from in regards to your deadline. And you can also keep track of the status here. Once you see that it has been submitted, it is good to go. But if you feel like you need to follow up with a teacher, you can always do so when you see that it has not yet been submitted under the status here. So that is the process of requesting transcripts, creating a list of the schools you're applying to so that your counselor is aware, as well as asking for letters of recommendation. Now, if you're still in kind of the process of figuring out where you want to apply and finalizing that list, I'm going to show you how to just add to the colleges that you're thinking about list. So when you go here and you're still in the research process, you can look at this tool here, Supermatch. This is where you can put in a whole bunch of different filters in regards to what you are looking for in a school. And it will create a list here for you in regards to how that school matches those requirements and also the other information regarding your qualification in regards to being a competitive applicant for that school. When you find a school that you're interested in, you can always select them to go to this list of schools you're thinking about so that you can always reference it later. So that list of schools that you're thinking about, if you come here, you can add them to the list, and that way you can always access them or reference back whenever you want. So again, the colleges I'm thinking about list is more so for you. That important thing to realize is that when you need to communicate with your counselor the schools you are actually submitting applications for, you need to make sure that those schools are then on your list of colleges I'm applying to. So use this as a tool and to find those schools that you're interested in, and then make sure that you're always updating the list I'm applying to so that your college or your counselor knows where you stand in your application process. So the other big part of the college process is finding scholarships. And so when you click on this tab up here, which is just a quick link to get to all this information, you can go down to the bottom here where it says scholarships and money. So you can do a scholarship match, which is kind of like super match with colleges, but instead you can put in certain criteria and find the scholarships that match that and that you should probably apply to. The other thing that's going to be really useful to get into a habit of visiting quite often is the scholarship list. This list is where we, as a counseling department at HHS, creates a list for you students to access in regards to scholarships that are local, that are frequently applied to by HHS students, and that meet the criteria that many of you have. And so this is going to be edited and added to throughout the entire school year. So you want to make sure that you're visiting this very frequently and accessing the information so that you know which ones you can apply to. When you see one that you're interested in and you want to get more information on, you will simply just click on the scholarship name, and all of the relevant information is going to show up under there. So it's going to give you due dates, it's going to give you how to access the actual application, and it's going to give you the description and everything else that you need to know to see if you qualify for that scholarship. So again, to access that, you go to colleges up here on the top toolbar, and you're going to go all the way down to the bottom, scholarships and money, and then click on scholarship list. And here is everything. So remember, this is a demo site, so this is a lot of scholarships from last year, but we will be starting to add these scholarships very, very soon. And like I said, it will be added to throughout the entire year. Scholarships are a year-long process. And so you will always want to be staying up to date with this page and checking it often. Another tool you might want to use is the resume builder. So sometimes scholarships and even your college applications may ask for a resume. If you go to About Me, My Stuff, and click on Resume, it's going to give you this platform. It's really easy to create a resume through here, but if you don't really like the format, it's also just a great place though to organize all of the information that is relevant for your resume so that you can always reference it. So these are typically the sections you find on a resume. It is okay if you don't have something for every single area, but I would say that your most important things to look at are your work experience, education, volunteer services, and then your extracurricular activities. The other things you can certainly add to if it's relevant for you, but those areas are usually the most important to have things filled in for. So like I said, even if you don't actually create a resume in Naviance, this is a really great place though to create a list of everything so that you can reference and know and remember everything you've been a part of over the course of your education. Remember, with a resume though, you do want to focus on just your 4 years in high school. So that is some of the most relevant areas for you to look at for the time being. We will certainly provide more of these videos to help you along, but just to recap really quickly, when you get to your home page of Naviance after you've logged in, you can do your college research in regards to finding schools through this link here of colleges I'm thinking about. But then when you want to make that list to share with your counselor of the colleges you have actually created applications for and plan to submit, you will want to make sure you add them to this list. You can start by matching your Common App accounts by clicking this link here, or you can just go and add the schools using this plus sign. I'm going to retract that a little bit and not say it's an or, but it is a and. So you want to match your accounts with Common App and add schools that may not be using Common App by using this plus sign here and searching for them. Again, you want to make sure that everything on this list is accurate and updated. So even if things change, remember to come in here and update them for your counselor. Below this list is how you access your letters of recommendation. And to access your scholarships, you're going to click on Colleges, Scholarships and Money, and Scholarship List. If you need a resume, you go to About Me, My Stuff, and Resume. So there you have it. Let's start there. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, Miss Sweetman, or definitely your counselor or our college advisor, Miss Dew. All right, seniors, good luck. And we look forward to working with you in this preparation for your next steps after graduation.